Hi everybody, welcome to Maker Mornings with Meg. I'm Meg, and do you know anyone who might do things sort of at the last minute? Or if you're like me and occasionally you get stuff done early, you think to yourself, oh, I should just add one more thing. So if you are in this scenario, it is not too late to make Thanksgiving table favors. Or if you are way ahead of the game and you've already done your Thanksgiving table favors, I'm looking at you, Sue. Not to worry, you can use this project for Christmas too. They would be beautiful. Or for any occasion, weddings, shower favors, just because things for treats for friends or getting together for a lunch or something, just take a little baggie of fun purse gifts. Lots of reasons to use this project, but they're really quick. And so I'm gonna give you some important tips today on how to batch produce things. I find sometimes people don't always catch on to these little tricks that really make things go quicker. And I'm also gonna give you some tips on selecting your supplies to really make the most of the make the most of the features in a stamp set or in a die set that help you kind of go through batch producing things and work a little bit more quickly. So woohoo, Tanya's all over it. So if you are the person who likes to make 16 different kinds of Christmas cookies all at one time and have a billion things going at once, you'll probably be right at home. And if you're the person who's like, okay, nope, I don't want it to be complicated, I just want to go one step all the way through, hopefully I'll give you some inspiration on how to really make it easy to do some batch producing. So, all right, are you guys ready? And if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving in tomorrow, good thing I'm gonna get my favors done in our video today. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving because you are someplace else in the country or whatnot, definitely think of another reason to use this fun project. So, all right, and good morning. Hey, Valda and Jenny, good evening. Tanya and Amanda, I'm glad you got here too. And Deborah and Trish and everybody who is on. So I'm gonna flip our camera down and would you guys like to see actually the papers we're gonna use? We're gonna go with Autumn Harvest today. So here are some, or Harvest Meadow, I guess is actually what the paper is called, the Harvest Meadow Suite. And so I'm gonna pop these on here and let's get started. Hey, Thina, good to see you. Hi, Kay. All right, okay, we going, there we go, get you set. All right, we want to be ready to kind of rock and roll our projects here. So, like I said, it is really nice when you can kind of set things up for yourself to be just really successful in getting a lot of things done in short order, especially if you're like me and you're kind of doing this a little at the last minute. So, first thing I do is I always make one project just to make sure that it's like the way that I want it set up. But then my next strategy is to just go ahead and make the cutting for myself done all at once. So these are my 6 pieces of paper, 4 by 6 inches. And you basically, I'm gonna line them all up and then I'm gonna remember that they're actually going to be the back sides that I want to add adhesive to. And I've got one kind of set up here to just show you. I added tear tape to it. So tear tape is great if that's your preference. But honestly, my quick go-to for these is Seal Plus. And I'm just doing the exact same thing here. And I'm just gonna roll them over and get them set up. Now, be careful. You don't want too much adhesive flying around because you don't want to accidentally have things stick when you're not ready. So I'm gonna kind of keep them organized here. And this way I can also mix and match my colors for my table favor. I love that the Stampin' Up! Papers have coordinating patterns and colors, so you know that your group of projects is gonna look fabulous together when you use this. All right, so first step, lay them all out. Second step, flip them over. Hi, Cindy, happy Thanksgiving. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start rolling these. And one thing that you find when you do batch production or mass production is that you get kind of good at figuring out the easiest way to do it. So what I wanna do is make sure that my paper goes together straight. And I find that if I do this, I get it crooked. That is a dramatization, not usually that crooked, but it is tricky sometimes to get them crooked. So my favorite way to do this is to leave the paper flat and just roll this around so that I can see that I'm getting it straight. Okay, do you see how that is? So I'm gonna make kind of a toilet paper tube roll, and then I'm gonna squeeze the bottom shut. Now it's tempting, here's the seam. You can kind of, yeah, there you can see the seam. It's tempting to wanna center the seam, but don't, okay? It's gonna make it easier to do the other side of our box later. So like I said, I'm just gonna roll this around and reach inside and not center my seam. Okay, that one's a little, has a little extra fun color showing, but that's okay. It's all matching, right? Okay, roll this around, don't center my seam. I'm gonna give it a good burnish when I roll that on so that my adhesive doesn't pop off. Okay, roll it around, don't center my seam. So there we've got 4 boxes ready to go. Oh my gosh, you're lucky that this is not smell-o-vision here because I have a whole handful of chocolates to add to these and they smell just divine. So, all right, and then this last one, I'm gonna flip over here so that we can peel off the adhesive. So tear tape works the same way. I'm just gonna roll it around and then burnish my adhesive, not centering my edge, okay? All right, so there we have our start to our containers. You guys, do you feel like, okay, take a deep breath, you could totally make these in, you know, half an hour or 45 minutes or so for your table. Okay, then the next thing comes from wanting to add a little like label to these. So I already decided that yes, it's a Christmas set, but this greeting, friends like you make the season special, is the perfect greeting for the fronts of my little table favor boxes. So each one of these will be at somebody's place at the table. I'll flip my seams to the back and they're gonna have this greeting on them. So I wanna use this because it's really handy, but I wanted them to all be a little bit different labels. So I could pick a stamp or pick a die set where like I would have to run, you know, like a circle or something from layering circles through, but I have to run it through a whole bunch of times to get all of my dies. So more efficient is to pick a die set like Tasteful Labels where I can use a variety of dies and then cut them all at once. So I kind of went through and picked all the ones where my greeting fits, okay? So these guys were a little too small. So there were 4 there, and I can just run that through 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do them one more time to get those last 2. So I have all of our die cut labels here ready to go. And then I can decide which way I want them to go. But do you see how something like Tasteful Labels just really gives you a lot of pretty mix and match? Sort of in that like fall, organic, shabby chic. You could totally use it for Christmas. It's just a great mix and match set. So let's see, I need 6 of these. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we need some greetings to put on these. Morning, Dawn. Hey, it's good to see you. And I'm gonna go with Calypso Coral because it goes with most of these colors here. So I tried to pick a color that would be bright for our greeting, something that would stand out, and something that matched a lot of the pieces in our project. So got my stamp and I'm going to go through. Now we're batch producing, right? So I'm not gonna do one of these and finish the whole box. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp, and I'm gonna do kind of off to the side, except for on this one, because it doesn't really work on the side. There we go. It only fits in the center. I think this one has to be vertical to fit. And there we go. Okay, so now we've got our greetings all done. All right, I'm gonna close this up. And I want to bring in a little of the design element from the Harvest Meadow Suite. So I'm gonna bring in stamps, and I'm gonna use either this little one here or this big one here if I have a lot of space. So let's pull these in. And for color, I don't want it to compete. So I'm gonna go with Crumb Cake because that's gonna fade into the background just a little bit more. So are you guys ready for Thanksgiving? Do you hate when people ask you that question? Let's see. So I'm gonna grab my, where's my stamp? Here it is. I'm gonna grab my stamp here, And I'm gonna pop it kind of, let's see, on the edge like this. There's one. And each one's gonna be just a little different because we want to kind of make the most of the tag shape. And this one and these, I think I'm gonna use the other image on. So let's pop these over here. And let's see, I think those little ones, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other. So let's see. You can always go through your boxes and pull out things to, you know, reuse. That would of course be really pretty. This is from a past Maker Mornings with Meg video. Let's see. And then this little guy, I'm gonna pop on, and he fits kind of nicely over here. So maybe I'll take up just a little extra space on these ones over here. And then this will give me something easy to add to these smaller tags that's a little bit more in scale with what we're doing, okay? All right, so now we've got our tags, we've got our boxes. Now one more element, we wanna add some kind of accent, and I've been having my brushed metallic cardstock stick on my table. I've been using it a lot lately. So I decided that this brushed metallic cardstock would be really pretty to add to this project, right? It all kind of goes together. Now, a note about the brushed metallic cardstock, it is on low inventory right now. And as of December 1st, Stampin' Up! Is going to change the way they are doing their back orders. So if a product goes on back order right now, usually you can order it and know that as soon as it comes back in, it might be a little while, but they'll ship it. But because of global supply chain issues, Stampin' Up! Has had to change this policy. And so starting December 1st, if something is on back order, you won't be able to order it. Which means if it's on low inventory and it's on your list, you should not wait because it could be a little while before it pops up again, okay? So I mention that now because I know that brushed metallic cardstock is on low inventory. Okay, so again, we're picking things for their efficiency, and the dies that go along with the Nature's Harvest stamp set include a wide variety of these accent pieces. And so I'll show you under brushed metallic cardstock, I have these. So I could die cut all 6 of the dies that I needed in only 2 swipes through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, okay? So really easy. And I wanted to, oops, drop in tags. So I wanted to hang on to this and show you taking it apart because I often get questions from people like, how do I pull my die cuts apart? I wasn't sure if it was cut all the way. So here is my tip for you. Always look at the back side. So there's our fabulous dies. Always look at the back side of your paper. And if you can see those lines all the way through, then you know that your die is cut. Now on something like the brushed metallic cardstock, it doesn't always want to give. That's just because there's a little bit of a finish to the top of the paper, and so it grabs onto itself a little more. But if you can see those dies through the back, it is cut, so you don't need to you don't need to run it through again or worry about that. Just always look to the back side to make those decisions about whether you need to run through again. All right, and then you just kind of bend it back and forth a little, and then we have this. Now, I know it's tempting to want to throw this out. Sometimes I use these little tiny pieces like here. So I would actually just stick that back in my container, back in the package, and then maybe I'd use that for something. All right, so time to work on putting these babies together. And let's see. I think, did I do that wrong way? There we go. All right. Oh, Tanya says you're having Thanksgiving today, leftovers tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I love Thanksgiving leftovers. They are some of my favorites. All right, so we're gonna put these together, then we're gonna do some embellishing. But next I need to add some candy. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop 3 of the Hershey's Treasures fit in here really nicely. You might have to turn that top one sideways. And if you want a couple ways to shut these, you can put a little bit of tear tape inside, is really easy. You can also, I kind of like to use a Stampin' Dimensional, and I'll just pop this in here. So especially because then people can kind of peek inside and they can see what's coming. Oh, wait, I forgot. Okay, I wanted to add something to the insides of these. as like sort of a secret message. So since we're using this stamp set, one of the things I love in here is this reminder to never forget how much you mean to me and so many others. That is a really neat sentiment. So before I finish these up, I won't do it now, but I'm gonna stamp that little strip and I'm gonna tuck one inside each of these. So they're almost like little fortune cookie boxes. And generally you have lots of little strips like this set aside, so they fit nicely inside there. So think about adding a special message inside your boxes, or you could put names on the outsides or whatnot. Okay, so we have this set here. I'm gonna stuff 3 more. I'm splitting them out so that they are, you know, equal opportunity. Everybody gets one of each candy. And then, you know, Hershey's Treasures. Some people like the dark. Some people like the milk chocolate. They can mix and match at the table. And then a secret to getting these little boxes, these little triangle, I sometimes call them sour cream containers, boxes to stay shut, is to go ahead and see how I've got like this pinched here with an angle. That angle is gonna help the box to stay shut, okay? All right, so let's see. I need some more silver ones, or maybe I'll do the red line ones. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes that last Hershey's Treasure has to fit in there sideways. Now, this is the part where you can see it was kind of important not to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, not to have my seam in the middle, because if you have your seam in the middle, then it ends up right on the corner, and that makes it hard for the box to stay shut. All right, so there we go. We're gonna go ahead and seal the rest of them. These 3 I need different chocolate for, so I'll work on that later. But let's put a tag together. So I'm gonna grab, let's see, this one here, I think. And I want one of my elements to go on top. So we're gonna kind of, we're working on this one. We're gonna kind of stick this up like there. Okay, so now I'm going to take that and lay it out because we're batch producing. So now I'm gonna figure out where I want this one to go. On here, just like that, I think. Okay, then I have this fun, pretty flower. I'm trying to get these on here so that the words aren't obscured. I wonder, maybe I'll do that one to the back. Let's see. Oh, that's kind of pretty, just like that. Okay, so you're kind of get your idea. You're gonna lay them out, and then I'm gonna do all my gluing at once. So I'm gonna kind of look at where this was, where I can put glue. And multi-purpose liquid glue is definitely my fave for this because it grabs really nicely. Where was this? Eek, can't remember. Up here? Was it like this? All right, well, I'm gonna do it like this. I feel like I put glue in the wrong place, but okay. And then I'm gonna go sort of the 3 strips here in the center. So multi-purpose glue grabs really well. It just doesn't grab instantly. So when you get this on here, you might want to just pop a block on to make sure that the bond is really good. And then this one, I'm gonna put adhesive on the back at the tip of this piece and at the bottom of this flower and stick that down, okay? And then, did I put glue in the wrong place? Oh, it'll be okay. All right, I got 2 more. Let's see, this guy, I think is gonna go out here like this. So I'm gonna put glue on the back of this leaf. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got my little guy here. I have 1 done ahead, so let's see. On this side, or on, I think on this side. And now I'm gonna do these 3, 4 little blossoms again. Okay, all right. Okay, so now we've got our pieces done there. So again, kind of mass producing and doing our batch work. And then I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna flip them in the center of each back. I'm going to pop a Stampin' Dimensional set so that we have those ready to go. And maybe this one off to the side a little. And last one, I don't know, oops, that one isn't grabbed yet. Okay, that one needs more time to get gluey. And then I'm gonna flip these over and stick them onto our boxes. So here, all right, okay. And then if you need to, you can trim the bottom. Honestly, they are pretty flexible at the bottom, so you don't have to trim it necessarily. Good morning, Jeanne. And Kay, I'm glad you like these. All right, let's see. We've got another one here with our sort of wheat on it. And we've got this one here with our pretty cone flower. And let's see, this one's gonna close like this. So I'm gonna pop it off to the side there. And so with the supply set, you know, this really takes a lot of the guesswork out. One of the great things about Stampin' Up! Pieces or supplies is that they mix and match so well. So you don't have to like design everything specifically. You can kind of rely on some of the inspiration from the pieces. And okay, I don't love the way this one came together. It needs more like, it needs more participation in the thing here. So I'm gonna pull that apart and there we go. Okay, I'm scooting it over. It works there too. And fortunately our glue goes in the same spot. So how happy is that? All right, and then this is gonna get glued. Now we need dimensionals in the center. And it's gonna pop down here. All right, okay, so now we have kind of our variety of boxes. And let's look at adding a simple embellishment to these. I feel like they need a little bit of a ribbon or something kind of like that. And so part of this suite is the cool diamond weave ribbon, and all of the supplies for this are linked in the video description. So you can click down there and get those links for finding these products. All right, so a different kind of bow. I decided to pair this with the Baker's Twine. So this is the Essentials Baker's Twine pack, which is essentials, white, cream, crumb cake, gray granite, and black. I think it's gray granite. And so basically I'm gonna make a different kind of bow. I'm gonna take my diamond weave ribbon and I'm just gonna fold it back and forth as a zigzag and then trim. Now, one of the things about batch producing is that you don't always want to cut your string or your ribbon until you're done. I'm just gonna leave it attached to the roll and then cut it as I go. That way I'm not wasting extra. So, all right, I've wrapped that around the center 3 or 4 times. I need a little place to work. And now I'm gonna finish off this mixed ribbon bow. So mixed ribbon bows are super trendy. And a great way to kind of bring a couple different design elements into your project, a couple different textures. And so I've got this, there we go. And then I'm gonna trim my end. So you see how that came together really quickly? So I suppose this is a little bit cheating, but I actually did all these ahead of time. So there we have our little mixed bows. And I meant to do this and I forgot. So normally what I like to do is I like to put this on the tag first because I want to stick it on with my Seal Plus, which is a really slick way to add wide ribbon bows like this where you just want it to stick. But since it's really hard to get that on a 3-dimensional item, the adhesive I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and use little bits of tear tape. So I'm just gonna pop that across there and peel the backing off and stick my bow on. Okay, so there's one. We're gonna bop another piece of tear tape across here and stick our second bow across there. So let's see, what do you guys do for Thanksgiving? You guys have special foods that you have to get together? We actually like to have Thanksgiving with friends sometimes, and we each have our own family tradition, so it's always fun to kind of get to partake in everyone else's favorite holiday traditions. Let's see, another little piece of tear tape for this one, and I think this one, let's see, this one's just a little different. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it down here, which is fabulous because it also reinforces our attachment point for our little brushed metallic embellishment. And then I've got one more here to pop down here. And I love the way these pieces complement. So they're all from the suite, and the new Stampin' Up! Catalog will be starting, coming up soon actually. The new Stampin' Up! Catalog, the mini catalog, will be starting in early January, January 4th, I think, which means we'll say goodbye to some of the favorites from the current mini catalog. So if you really like this Nature's or Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper, it's gonna go. So don't wait too long to get it. All right, and so there is our final, and I actually, let's see, don't have a die cut for this one because I have this one from earlier. So then we have our table favors there. What do you guys think? So are you feeling inspired? Do you feel like you could jump out and make something? It's not too late. It doesn't take you very long, especially when you're really smart about picking the products that you use. So things like the, oh my goodness, the Nature's Harvest dies, the Harvest Meadow dies, which have lots of pieces that let you mix and match. And then something like Tasteful Labels, which has lots of pieces that let you mix and match. So it really helps these come together kind of in a hurry, because you don't have to repeat die cut all those things. You can just, you know, put all those dies on and die cut once or twice, or whatever you might be doing. So there's our evidence of our speedy die cut there. All right. And the hidden messages, I think, will be a lot of fun. All right, Amanda says I make it look easy. You know what? It is easy and fun to do. It is fun to do. Mostly, like when I do these videos, I really like to talk through what I'm talking about or what I'm thinking, what's going on in my mind, because sometimes those little tips are the things that you might find yourself like repeating to yourself when you craft, like, why isn't this glue sticking? Why isn't this green lid glue sticking, or multi-purpose liquid adhesive, sorry. Why isn't it sticking? And then in the back of your head, I hope you hear me going, well, it doesn't stick instantly. You just have to put a block on it to hold it. So those little like things that you learn from doing repeated projects are what I hope to pass on to you to make your crafting a little easier too. So today's tips will hopefully empower you to want to do some batch producing or mass producing, whatever you want to call it, and make the most of your fun little holiday gatherings. Just a little extra touch to say, hey, I was thinking of you and I thought this would be kind of special. So, all right, guys, we'll have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I will not be here on Friday. We're gonna take a holiday day, and so I'll have some posts for you on Friday to kind of give you some ideas for things coming up. But we won't be live on Friday. So I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and a wonderful chance to, you know, give thanks for the things you're thankful for, as well as enjoy a long weekend if you have it as a holiday too. So, all right, guys, have a fabulous day. Happy Wednesday, and I'll see you back on Monday with another project. So happy stamping.